Greetings, everyone. It's Crime Talk with Crin, and we are back with episode 25. So, I am going to eat my words, and that's fine. That is fine. I said in the last video that, sometimes my mind could be changed. In this instance, my mind has not been changed. However, I will admit that I was wrong, and I'm glad that I was wrong. If you have not checked out episode 24, please check that out. I'm talking about all the things of October and November of 22, but mainly the Leilani Simon and Quentin Simon case. The trial just wrapped up. At the time I recorded episode 24, the jury was still out. And so I said I was going to come back once a verdict was reached, and we are back. So luckily, thankfully, the jury came back and Leilani Simon was found guilty on all 19 counts. So I am so glad. I'm so glad because, like I said, I believed that she did it. I don't believe that they were able to prove that she did it, but I think that with, just using your own mind and evaluating all of the things that have been presented, it was obvious that she did it. But again, I don't think that they proved it. And in this case, it's good. It's good. When I saw the video of her crying when she was found guilty, I was infuriated. Honestly, I was happy that she was found guilty, but the fact that you have tears running down your face as they find you guilty, but when the paleontologist was up there and they have a picture of your baby's foot and a picture of a piece of his skull and his bones, when they're showing you that, there's no tears there. I watched it on Grizzly True Crime. I think that's what it's called. Grizzly K. Love her channel. Love her channel. I'm going to drop a link to her channel in the description box. She does very, very thorough reporting. She is amazing. She is very much above board, very ethical in her reporting. She doesn't go for a bunch of nonsense. I absolutely love her channel. If you do not follow her, I suggest that you go over there, leave a comment, let her know that Crime Talk with Crin sent you over there. I absolutely love her channel. And so, I was watching over there, and she blurred, the images, and she put out trigger warnings and things like that. And I just thought that was amazing for her to do that. But I'm looking at Leilani, knowing what the images are. I'm feeling away just knowing that they're showing a little baby foot, right? And she just looks completely unfazed. But when you're found guilty, now you have tears on your face. And I just think it's crap. When you were hollering and wailing and carrying on during the investigations and the interrogations, it was obvious. It was obvious acting. Horrible acting, but it was still obvious acting. And the whole time, was it 10 days of the hearing, or 9 days of the trial, and she's sitting there and she has this smug, snide look on her face. She's rolling her eyes. She's, carrying on. And then, like, when certain people were testifying, like, she was clearly like, ugh, whatever. And when she got on the stand, and she's smirking and smiling and all that, and to say that she wasn't testifying, it really just rubbed me the wrong way, and it probably rubbed the jury the wrong way as well. And then here we go. They read the verdict, and now you're crying. And like I said in my last episode, the defense attorney probably thought, like, there's no evidence to prove that she did it. They listened to the presentation, they listened to the state's case, and they probably thought that, you know, worst case scenario, she's going to get hemmed up for lying to the cops, because she was clearly lying to the cops. And so they were like, oh, she's not going to go down for murder. And I just feel like that fueled her just raggedy ass, snide attitude. Like, her energy, the entire trial, was very cocky, very arrogant. And so when she cried, like, when you saw those tears on her face, that was real. That was genuine. And it was probably the only real and genuine moment that we've seen from her, because she probably thought that she was going to get away with this. And I'm glad that she didn't. My last video was long enough. I'm not going to hold y'all too long. I'm hoping that, you know, at some time over the weekend, I can get back to the Idaho 4 and, you know, talk about some other things as well. And thank you for tuning in. Like this video. Share it, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about the trial, let me know what you think about the state's case. You know, it worked. Whatever happened, it worked out in Quentin's favor. There is justice for Quentin Simon. That's all we wanted. That's all we wanted. So please subscribe to my channel, set the notification bell, because like I said, I don't have a current schedule for my recordings and for when I put videos out. I do have more free time now. Some things cleared out of my schedule and my life. So I hope to be back consistently. And listen, I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'm close to 1,000 subscribers. And I said, once I, you know, get comfortably over 1,000 subscribers, I was going to switch things up. I was going to, you know, start doing videos where you can, you know, see me talking and, you know, do more of a presentation. So help me get there so I can, you know, progress and grow my channel. Thank you to everyone. And that's all I got.
Reads as follows. We, the jury, find as follows: malice murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 2, felony murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 3, felony murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 4, concealing the death of another. We find the defendant guilty. Count 5, false report of a crime. We find the defendant guilty. Count 6, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 7, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 8, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 9, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 10, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 11, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 12, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 13, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 14, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 15, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 16, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 17, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 18, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. And count 19, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Okay. And